Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Hallow's Eve. She made her very first appearance in Spider-Man: The Last Years, issue number 1, that was released in June of 1995. Her real name is Elizabeth Tyne, although she's gone by various aliases such as Mary Bailey, Janine Godby, and Sarah Porter. Not to mention a few powers-based aliases such as Frank and Eve. Nevertheless, she's a young woman of average build that has blue eyes and red hair. And she's been imbued with a very unique and powerful ability. And this gave her the endless possibility to create various masks with different powers and effects, which were only limited by her imagination, although she leans heavily into general monster themes, despite being able to manifest masks of unique individuals, such as Captain America or Spider-Man. When she first gained her magical bag, which creates and houses her masks, it was initially stocked with, and I quote, "a mask to curse them, a mask to bleed them, and a mask to splinter bone." Of course, these three were a witch, a vampire, and Frankenstein. Now, I'll go over the specific abilities of some of her masks. For instance, the mask of Frankenstein's monster can grant her the ability of Frankenstein's monster, which is somewhat increased durability and strength. An insect mask inspired by human fly can grant her the ability of the human fly. The mask of a werewolf grants her the enhanced abilities of werewolves, while a model mask gives her the appearance of a Hollywood icon. The ghost mask grants her intangibility and invisibility, while the black cat mask turns her into a cat-like creature with enhanced agility. She also has a police officer mask, which grants her the appearance of a law enforcement officer. The gorilla mask gives her the ferocity and raw strength of a gorilla, and the mummy mask allows her to transform into a mummy and manipulate projectile bandages and wraps. Now, the witch mask became very useful as it gave her the ability to cast various magical spells, and she was shown to be able to do things such as create force fields and telekinetic spells to retrieve her masks from others. Now, the slasher mask grants her the powers of a horror movie slasher, which could get pretty grotesque if you think about it. But even that would pale in comparison to her much maligned vampire mask, which she hates to use, but it gives her a very unique blend of speed, strength, and the senses of a vampire, not to mention flight. However, it also gives her the hunger of a vampire, which we see gets in the way if she wears it too long. Now, she also has a kaiju mask that allows her to turn into a huge building-sized lizard kaiju, very much resembling Godzilla. But, like I said, she's also manifested a few specific masks, such as Captain America, which makes her taller, gives her a shield, and grants her enhanced strength and fighting ability. While the Spider-Man mask gives her web slinging and the abilities of Spider-Man. And the very last one I'll mention is a Hulk mask, which is self-explanatory. Now, Elizabeth, who's better known by her alias of Janine Godby and later Hallow's Eve, is a very complex and tragic figure in the Marvel Comics universe. She's intricately tied to the life of Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, who happens to be her love and best friend. Eve's journey is one of survival, reinvention, love, and ultimately embracing a dark power to help the man she cares about. Now, Elizabeth's early childhood was marked by trauma, as she suffered abuse at the hands of her father. But one day her breaking point would come, and she took his life in self-defense. However, this act forced her to flee, leaving her past behind and adopting the identity of Janine Godby. Seeking anonymity, she settled in Salt Lake City, where she met Ben Reilly. Their connection blossomed into a deep, trusting relationship, with both sharing their troubled pasts. Ben revealed himself to be a clone of Peter Parker, and Janine, in rare moments of humor, would tease him and call him quote-unquote Spider-Man. Unfortunately though, the couple's attempt at a peaceful life was derailed by Kane, another clone of Peter Parker. Kane, being driven by jealousy and a twisted sense of protection, kidnapped Janine and manipulated her into faking her suicide, convincing her that Ben was better off without her. Yet, despite Kane's interference, fate would eventually reunite the two lovers, though their lives remained fraught with danger. One day, Elizabeth, aka Janine, or whatever name she was choosing, would get tired of running, and she would confess to her father's murder, surrendering herself to the authorities and actually serving a sentence at Bedford Falls Correctional Facility. Years would go by, but then the shadowy organization known as Beyond Corporation orchestrated her release, dangling the promise of reuniting her with Ben. Though wary, Janine agreed and was soon swept into a life of luxury within Beyond Tower. However, this gilded cage soon revealed its sinister purpose: to manipulate Ben, now serving as Beyond's corporate Spider-Man. She witnessed Ben's physical and emotional toll from his role as quote-unquote Spider-Man. Despite moments of happiness, she felt trapped and powerless. Her unease validated when their apartment was attacked by Morbius and other threats. Her frustration with Beyond's control reached a tipping point when Ben's battles with Kraven and Dr. Octopus further endangered their lives. Discovering Beyond's corrupt activities through stolen data, Janine took a stand, breaking free from her passive role. She sought help from Mary Jane Watson, but her efforts to expose Beyond's crimes were thwarted by Queen Goblin, a villain sent to silence her. Nevertheless, over time, Beyond Core collapsed and Ben's mental state deteriorated. This is when Janine faced a grim new reality. With Ben now calling himself Chasm, she struggled to support him while grappling with her own sense of identity and worth. Her insecurities about being a potential liability and desperation led her to make a fateful alliance with Madelyn Pryor, the Goblin Queen of Limbo. Pryor, understanding Janine's anguish, used demonic magic to transform her into the superpowered Hallow's Eve. And with her new abilities, Hallow's Eve became a fierce ally to Ben and Pryor, fully immersing herself in the supernatural chaos of Limbo. However, Hallow's Eve's transformation was both a blessing and a curse. While it empowered her to fight alongside Ben in his schemes, it also marked a descent into darkness, with her solidly being placed within the antihero category, often teetering between heroic and villainous. She would often clash with Peter Parker Spider-Man and face the consequences of her alliance with Pryor, which included manipulating allies like Venom to achieve their goals. So overall, Hallow's Eve's story is one of constant reinvention and moral ambiguity. As Elizabeth Tyne, she was a victim and survivor, but as Janine Godby, she sought love and redemption. And as Hallow's Eve, she embraced power and darkness to protect the life she had built with the man she loves, even at the cost of her humanity. Her journey exemplifies the complexities of love, guilt, and the lengths one will go to redefine themselves in the face of a relentless past. Now, for her powers and abilities, and her brief yet impactful influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Hallow's Eve a rating of 7, which is a master rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe to The New Sage.